What's up, guys? Chewy from ATXTCG here. This time doing a video with a friend of mine. We're doing, I guess, a tag team video about advanced rulings. And again, here we got Jersey Joe.
What is up, YouTubers? Jersey Joe here. And as Chewy said, we are doing a collaboration video talking about advanced ruling and future card buddy fights. As you know, in our last video, we did mostly some simple rulings and frequently asked questions. So we thought today we'd do an advanced ruling. It's not a whole lot, but it should just be enough for some of you guys who don't know, some slight confusion, stuff like that, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys.
So first off, I guess we want to start with the basics, like going from basics to advanced. The gauge. The gauge. The gauge is used to pay for casting spells, etc. One of the advanced rulings that we'd like to share with you is the fact that you are able to pay from anywhere on your gauge. So if you were to have 3 cards or 4 cards on your gauge, and for whatever reason, let's say because you want to put an Armor Knight into the drop zone or 72 pillars into the drop zone, and you know that one of those cards in your gauge is of that specific subclan, you can actually pick those cards to send them to the drop zone and then be able to perform combos such as Armor Knight Succubus or several 72 pillar Magic World spells that require you to have 72 pillar cards in the drop zone. You cannot look at the cards in the gauge. They have to remain face down. However, again, you are able to pick from anywhere on the gauge to pay those cards.
And we're going to show you guys here in the Buddy Fight Bobble, we're going to call it. We're talking about with the gauge here. We got an example here. We got our good friend Fighting Dragon Demonacle. It's very, very important to know because I actually had an error myself today while I was playing it. If you see a skill here, I'll read for you guys. It says cast call, put a monster on your field into the drop zone and pay 2 gauge and put the top 2 cards of your deck into the monster's soul. When it says and, it means it has to go at the same exact time. The best example, I don't have it here with me, but King the Dominator is very, very simple. It says pay 2 gauge and take a chess piece card from the drop zone in. Oh yeah, it's in my deck. Take it from the drop zone into the deck. The way this works is you have to make sure you have all the requirements at the exact time. See, here's King Dominator. So when I want to play him, not only do I have to have 2 gauge, but at the same exact time, I must have a chess piece card in my drop zone. So even though you're taking these 2 cards from your gauge into the drop zone, those cards do not count as that requirement of the chess piece. So you make sure you have both requirements at the same exact time for the skill to go off. And
a suggested way to go about that is if you want to play, let's say, King Denominator, and you have a chess piece in your hand and you haven't gauged yet, you can gauge a chess piece and then you can play an item or a spell that requires you to pay gauge. That way you know that you're going to be sending a chess piece to the drop zone, and then you can play for King the Dominator knowing that there is a chess piece in the drop zone.
Like I said, I mean, late game this won't matter at all, but like if you're in a game like turn 1, turn 2, you gotta make sure, you want that. So you want to do what Chewy says, obviously just kill a card off that quickly.
In other words, you can't turn 1 of the first player play Armor Knight Succubus because she would, let's say you gauge and draw. You have no cards in the drop zone, and then you have to pay 1 gauge and put an Armor Knight from the drop zone into Armor Knight Succubus Soul. You can't pay 1 and that be the Armor Knight that you put into the Soul. There has to be something in the drop zone at the time that you pay the gauge. Very
crucial to remember in case, I'm pretty sure we might get terms in the future. Very crucial to remember because, as I said, there are going to be judges who are going to be very anal about that kind of stuff. I'm sorry to say anal, but it's the truth. Like I've been to Vanguard tournaments, judges are very, very specific, and that's why again we're making these videos so you guys know and so you guys are up to date, and that way you guys don't make a simple mistake and then somehow get DQ'd from a tournament because some judges are like that.
And while we're on the subject of Armor Knight Succubus and Demonacle, I emailed the Bushiroad support group, I guess, about some rulings regarding playing Demonacle while having Succubus on the field with Soul Guard. And they told me that you are allowed to play Demonacle in using Succubus's Soul Guard to get rid of a monster from the field to be able to pay for Demonacle's cost and still have Succubus on the field.
So Soul Guarding can work in many, many ways. Not only is it good for if you're going to get bounced, but also good as bait for summoning creatures.
I guess another ruling would be link attacks and penetrate abilities.
As you guys know, you guys can link attack against your opponent, but if you're going to direct attack, only one of that power can go through. So you have two creatures. One of them is attacking for 3 crit, one attack for 2. You have to pick one or the other. So obviously you would pick the 3 when you're doing link attack. Now when it comes to penetrate, since it's an ability, not really direct attack, say you have there's a creature in the center, and you're going to link attack. Both those creatures do have penetrate. The combined total will go 3 since it's an ability and not an attack per se. So if you have a 2 and a 3 attacking at the same time, it will kill the creature and you will deal 5 total damage to your opponent.
A real life example of this would be using Armor Knight Medusa and Hysteric Spear. Hysteric Spear has penetrate, deals 2 damage. Armor Knight Medusa has penetrate, and I believe it's also 2 damage. So if you were to, let's say they have a monster with 8,000 defense, and you want to destroy it using penetrate. So you would link attack using Armor Knight Medusa, that I believe has 5,000 power, and Hysteric Spear with also 5,000 power. And it would deal 10,000 damage to the creature in the center, and at the same time, because both of them have the ability to penetrate, they would both get the ability off. So it would destroy the monster and deal 4 damage to the opponent.
I'm pretty sure we have 1 or 2 more rulings we want to bring out before we can close this.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, while we're on the link attack subject. There's been a little question of why would you ever link attack when a person doesn't have a monster in the center? Well, Magic World. That's the answer. Magic Worlds. Do you have it? Magic Worlds.
It's a new deck. What are we looking? Here we go. There's a one specific card that you want to be careful with. If you're fighting against Magic World, like you said, you always want to link attack, and that's because of this guy right here, Solomon's Shield. The ability is you can nullify the attack if it's not a link attack. So, like I said, if you ever attack one at a time, you can drop this bottom boom since it's a free cast. But, like you said, if you're link attacking, it doesn't, like me, I always link attack with Rook since he's a size 0, but I'll still do 2 damage. This will not guard attack since this cannot guard link attacks. So that's the only, like I said, some of these nullifiers have weaknesses. This is one of them. So if you're fighting against Magic World, always link attack. No matter what situation you're in, link attack always because they could have this card in hand.
Yeah, if you really need to deal damage to a Magic World player and they do not have a monster in the center, it's probably safer for you to link attack. Like let's say you have Drill Bunker in your hand, you have Hysteric Spear, and you have 2 monsters on the left and right side, and you need to deal 5 damage. You can link attack the left and right together on the center, the open field of the opponent, to ensure that they cannot guard that. So once you do that, then you can choose to either Drill Bunker to either make sure that they get rid of their Solomon's Shield, or you can just attack with your Hysteric Spear and save your Drill Bunker for later. Another would be, I guess as we're talking about the link attacks and preventing and stuff, counters, the chain.
Yes, the counter chain. We verified this with Buddy Fight's official emailing group, because we can call them. You guys can chain links. So saying like if me and Q are playing, I were to attack, he chains a counter. I can chain a counter to counter that counter. So many counters. But he's allowed to do 1 more counter, and that is the maximum limit. So when you're doing counters, at least a chain, like I know in best example is Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you can chain Draft and Magic together and resolve them. In Buddy Fight, it's only a maximum of 3 counters to 1 turn, pretty much. So I counter, he counters, and I can counter 1 more time, and that's the end. And then it's pretty much like building a stack of bricks and then resolving them. So the last card that is effective will resolve, and then the second card, and then the first card that was activated. So that's the best way to find and resolve the issues.
An example could be him playing a card, and I choose to use Magical Goodbye, which would bounce the creature from the field to his hand. And in response, he chooses to play Abracadabra, which nullifies a spell that has been cast. And then him, in response, could play another Abracadabra to cancel the one I played, but that's where the chain ends. Because I responded to his, and then... So I responded to a normal play with a counter. So then he responds with a counter to mine. And then that's it.
So up to 3 per turn. That way, it makes it good. That way you're not like constantly throwing down cards and making the turn longer than it has to be. So this is very good. So like I said, if you're in a tournament, like we're saying, you know, with official rules, the chain is up to 3. So you counter, your opponent counters, and then you can go one more time, and that's when it ends. And then you resolve from the last card down to the first card.
Also, I guess another ruling would be the attacking. When attacks work and when they don't. Destroying a monster while it's attacking nullifies the attack. Bouncing or removing a monster from the field while the monster is being attacked or attacking nullifies the attack. So if he were to be attacking and I choose to destroy him with a spell, the monster goes to the drop zone, no damage is dealt, the attack did not happen. He can move on to another attack. If he decides to attack my monster, and instead of me allowing him to destroy my monster, I bounce my monster, I removed the target of his attack, therefore nullifying the attack. What else? Let's see. Anything on the generic side that you would like to talk about?
Everything for generic is pretty generic.
I guess the chess piece is the generic impact card. The fact that it actually doesn't pay any gauge. It doesn't cost gauge.
Yeah. That's why it's my favorite impact card. Checkmate. No pay at all. You just have to make sure you have five or more different chess pieces in the graveyard, and that also counts as spells. I'm pretty sure you guys know that already.
Okay, going back to more rulings. Danger World specific, double guillotine. This card says it can be used when being attacked by an opponent's weapon, or when your opponent attacks you with a weapon. It is ineffective against Magic World act abilities from the weapons, because the act ability says rest this card to deal 1 damage to your opponent. It's not actually an attack. So double guillotine cannot be used against act abilities from either Gunrod, Stradivarius, or Bechstein. Now it can be used to against those 2 weapons if they choose to actually attack you with it. Let's see, what else?
I guess we're on the subject. We were confused. We clarified and then re-clarified with Buddy Fight email group people. We need to find a interpreter. Before we're talking about Gargantuan Punisher and trying to find ways if it can or cannot be actually nullified by using a trick spell or something like that. So we actually contacted them at first by using Quick Summon, which, if you guys know, if you're being attacked, you can take a creature from your hand and play it into the center. At first, I guess they were confused, so when we wrote to them, they actually said, yes, you can use Quick Summon against Gargantuan Punisher, because they said, like, your opponent has to declare Final Phase, and then when they say Final Phase, you can counter with a Quick Summon as a counter, and then you can play a creature on there, and then obviously they cannot activate Gargantuan Punisher. But then we notice the card says differently. The card says, while your opponent is attacking. So they came back and they finally re-clarified. So if you are being hit by Gargantuan Punisher, you cannot counter with Quick Summon. Since Gargantuan Punisher on an attack it's literally just a card that will deal 4 damage. So what you can do is
that's what you can do.
Dragon Seal.
Yep.
You want to read it for them? Dragon Seal.
Dragon Seal is a Dragon World spell card. It's a set card.
You gotta take one out so I can show them.
Okay.
We're so professional.
Right. So what it does is it's a cast cost to put the top 3 cards of your deck into this card's soul face down. It has a counter ability. It's an act ability that if your life is 3 or less, you may reveal cards from this card's soul, and if you do, choose up to 1 armored dragon monster from among them, call it by paying its call cost, and destroy this card. Now, the way that this counters Gargantuan Punisher is through means of when they attack you and they do their final attack. Let's say they have 3 monsters. They attack, actually 2 monsters. They can't have 3 because they can't have those central. So they attack you with their second monster to deal you enough damage for them to be able to use Gargantuan Punisher. What you can do is, as a counter, after the last attack and before final phase starts, you can choose to activate Dragon Seal, playing a monster from the Dragon Seal Soul into the center field. By doing that, you will not allow them to meet the requirements to play Gargantuan Punisher. So it's not a counter per se, it's more of a preventing the card to be played.
And there is one more card we can talk about that can literally save you, not prevent it, but save you from Gargantuan Punter, and that is Dragonheart. I'm pretty sure if you guys read the manga, so far he's only been seeing the manga, and here I have this copy, but this is also a promotional Japanese card from the Kurakura Comics. Basically, it says once you are hit by a Punisher, if an impact card would deal you 0 damage, if you play this card, if you have a buddy in the field, you can heal yourself up to 2 damage. So we haven't seen this card yet in the U.S. Obviously, it's here as a promotional card, and it was used in the manga by Gao himself. Spoiler, but so far this can save. So you have this card. Obviously, if you're in Dragon's World, run this card because people will run impact cards, and this so far. I'm saying so much so far, too far.
It's okay.
It's awesome town. This card is the best card to have in your deck to save you from any and all impact cards. Again, to re-clarify, because I probably said it wrong, if an impact card would deal you at 0 damage, as long as you have a buddy in the field, you can play this card, and you can go from 0 to 2 life points. Oh, 1. I'm sorry, 1 life point. So again, it's pretty much a counter, and all in all, I'm going out to my last drop card.
Okay. And one more ruling that I've seen surface around the interwebs is the question of, can you use Liar Folful, if you want to show the card, to activate the arc? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because you can activate the arc without paying its cost, correct. However, the arc's cast cost is to pay to gauge and put 2 cards from the top of your deck into this card's soul face down.
As we talked about before.
Now, if you were to use Liar Folful to play this card, yes, you could do it for free. However, because putting the top 2 cards into the soul are part of the cast cost, and with Liar, you are not paying any of the cost, you are not putting any cards into the Arc soul, which means you have the Arc empty and sad and alone, and it can't save you. So, yes, we do not recommend you using Liar Folful to play the Arc. Because
that combo,
you're not gonna have a good time with that.
Now, there is that one magician now who spends 1 less cost to send a creature. How does he work with the arc?
Herb Magician.
Herb Magician
says you can play spell cards. Spell cards you play cost 1 less gauge.
You said it.
Anyways, gauge. That's the correct word. Gauge. So Herb Magician makes spell cards cost 1 less gauge. The way this works is that the arc would cost you 1 gauge and put the top 2 cards into the soul of the arc. So it works out. You can use Herb Magician to play pretty much every spell, and any spell that costs 1 is free essentially. So if you try to play Nice One while you have Herb Magician on the field, Nice One is for free. Everything else that costs 2 gauge costs 1 gauge, so on and so forth. I guess, aside from that, what else we got? Healing. Some people have wondered about, what is the maximum health you can go to? And so far the answer is, as much as you can heal. I mean, the counters go up to 20, yes, but if somehow, by some amazing, playstyle and really great deck building, you manage to go over 20, more props to you, I'd like to see that deck build, because that would be some interesting stuff.
I want to see that deck build.
Right.
Give me your deck list now. Because I want to have a trolley healed deck.
So far, that's all we got for advanced rulings. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if there's any questions that you would like us to address. And once we get enough questions in the comments below, please, we will make another video of the rulings to further help you enjoy the amazing and awesome world that is Magic World of Buddy Fight.
Don't listen to Magic World. Hey, that content's still going on, by the way. If you guys want a nice Magic World deck, just put in the description down below of what you do to that Magic World deck and how you'll burn into a million pieces. Because Magic World is really, really trolly. We don't like Magic World. Generic World for the win, right, guys? Those chess pieces are so good. King the Dominator. Anyways, guys, like he said, this is Jersey Joe. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos. Like and post a comment. Thought this video was awesome, town. This is Jersey Joe. This is Chewy from ATX TCG. This is us signing out.